approximately 6 months ago, 13 people were killed and 40 were injured here in an explosion at the Imperial Sugar Refinery in Port Wentworth. After the explosion, I visited the site and pledged that we were going to do a thorough investigation of the explosion and fire. I also stated at that time that if we found that there were violations of safety and health standards, that we would be issuing penalties and citations and penalties to the employers that caused and created the safety and health hazards. Since that day, OSHA has conducted a thorough and professional investigation of the conditions at Imperial, both here at Port Wentworth and in Gramercy, Louisiana, which is the other primary sugar processing site for the company. The investigation has concluded that this catastrophic accident could have been prevented if Imperial Sugar had complied with existing OSHA safety and health standards. The investigation also concluded that the senior management of Imperial Sugar was fully aware of the combustible dust hazards in their facilities and that they did not take any appropriate action to eliminate these hazards. Imperial Sugar managers have been repeatedly informed of the serious combustible dust hazards in their facility as early as 2002. While the company took steps to determine what hazards were there, they took no reasonable action to fix the problems. By failing to address these hazards, the conditions were in place for the catastrophic accident that occurred on February 7th. At this point, a reasonable person would think that the senior management of Imperial Sugar would have taken adequate steps to ensure that their other facility in Gramercy, Louisiana would be free from the same combustible dust hazards. I personally sent a letter to the CEO of Imperial Sugar on March 7th, urging him to, quote, ensure that OSHA standards relevant to housekeeping, ventilation, electrical hazards, and other hazards be scrupulously observed in your Gramercy, Louisiana facility. On March 14, 2008, 5 weeks after the Fort Wentworth explosion and 1 week after my letter, OSHA sent compliance officers to inspect the Gramercy, Louisiana facility. On the first day of the on-site inspection, OSHA inspectors discovered massive quantities of combustible dust in the powder mill along with potential ignition sources. In some spots, the dust was 4 feet thick. The combination of the dangers of the powder mill room and the lack of serious response by Imperial Sugar led to OSHA posting an imminent danger notice, effectively closing the powder mill in that time. The combustible dust hazards were so widespread that I am convinced that our actions prevented a second terrible accident occurring at the Gramercy facility. Such serious disregards for safety, health, and the well-being of Imperial Sugar's employees compelled me to authorize instant-by-instant citations for both inspections, resulting in OSHA issuing the third largest penalty in the agency's history. Specifically, the Port Wentworth investigation resulted in proposed penalties of over $5 million, with citations alleging 69 willful, including 61 egregious willful violations, and 51 serious violations. As a result of the Gramercy inspection, OSHA issued an additional 49 egregious willful and 42 serious violations and proposed penalties for more than $3.7 million. The combined total of the proposed penalties against Imperial Sugar is more than $8.7 million. As we conclude our investigation, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the talented and dedicated OSHA personnel whose hard work has brought the facts of this case to light, and I am convinced prevented further injuries or loss of life. Once again, let me extend my personal condolences to those of the entire OSHA family, to those who were injured in this catastrophic incident, and to the families of those who were killed.